Well, I think the most important thing about Making for Peace is that we recognise our common humanity. Until we do that, I don't think we can really begin the process of peacemaking. And then after that, I think it is recognising that the task of peacemaking, peace building, is to work towards transforming broken relationships. And you do that, in part, by making sure that you take time to seriously listen, to understand, and not to make judgments, and to let people be who they are. And then from that point onwards, I think you can begin a process that may well, in time, lead to producing peace and a measure of reconciliation. But we need to recognise always that you're into this sometimes for quite a long time. I think it is particularly about commitment. I think looking at the way in which Conciliation Resources manages the issues of conflict resolution and peace building, they know it's about being in the situation for the long haul. And I think that takes a particular kind of a person and particular kind of characteristics. I remember asking one colleague, after they told me they'd been doing something for, I think, 15, maybe 20 years, how do you keep going? And the answer to the question was one that I found quite profound, and it was this. The alternative is just too awful to imagine. So I think I have learned a great deal about commitment during my time, and also I think about the courage to enter into situations that other people have been afraid to enter into, and they are profoundly difficult. Just the privilege, really, of working with very, very competent people, both members of the board and members of staff. I think I've enjoyed the sense of coherence, a growing sense of belonging to each other, a sense in which the board and the staff have had a growing interaction during my period of time as chair. I think quite a lot of things, really. The willingness to be in there for the long term is certainly one of the key elements about uniqueness. I think the way in which we use resources, the way we use the experience that's been gained over the years, from our own stories, but also from other people's stories, that's a very special thing. And I think there is a sense in which, as an organisation, we have an extraordinary capacity to deal with the people who are in the conflict situations, not just the individuals who are affected by the conflict, but also with armed groups, which is a very sensitive area, but also with officials and governments and those kinds of people. So I think there's a very significant set of things which make Conciliation Resources a unique peace-building organisation. It would be don't give up. But I always remember in the early days of my time and involvement in Northern Ireland, and I worked with a remarkable man called David Blakely. And David used to have a very simple mantra, and it was this: think peace, speak peace, pray peace, act peace. I think that's a pretty good set of ideas, and if we hold on to those, I think we'll get it about right.